What's the difference between subtext and premise for a joke? And how do you write a joke that has both elements? The answer is different depending on whether you do stand up comedy or written comedy. In stand up, they're kind of the same. A comic will often state the subtext/slash premise before doing a joke. Rodney Dangerfield said, "My wife and I never have sex. We get undressed, we can't stop laughing." The subtext is, "My wife and I never have sex." The rest is the joke. So it's kind of like a setup. But in written comedy, the premise is often more synonymous with the topic than it is with the subtext. Subtext is different in writing, and it's hidden. You shouldn't ever reveal your subtext to a reader because it'll kind of ruin the joke. Subtext in comedy writing is something the audience is meant to figure out on their own. It's how they get the joke quite often. For example, in Jonathan Swift's classic A Modest Proposal, the premise is that we should eat poor children. But the subtext is the opposite. We should take care of poor children. And that's never mentioned, of course. It would ruin the joke. The bottom line, for a good joke or a good humor piece, you should have a premise, you should have subtext, and you can have both, but knowing the difference and knowing when to use them and when not to will give your humor the most important thing it needs, which is to be funny.